Welcome, welcome, friends. Tonight, we are here to ask and answer one simple question. WTF is Runt? Yes, I do in fact want to see... I don't need to run this in 4K. I'm gonna turn volume down a bit. We will enable closed captions. We're not censoring language. This is quite a lot quieter than most of our other games tonight, chat. So I don't know if it gets louder. Runt. So this is a demo. It's not finished yet, I don't think. Is it finished? It's part of Steam Next Fest. Yeah, it's out later in the year. Let's, I don't know anything about this game. This was requested by Metal, our mod. Our head mod. Within this game, there are depictions of physical and emotional abuse, animal death, gore, blood, body horror, verbal homophobia, verbal misogyny, and verbal sexism. There are descriptions of physical and emotional abuse, suicidal thoughts, animal death, gore, blood, body horror, religious trauma, homophobia, misogyny, sexism, pregnancy, and fratricide. Any opinions shared by characters in this game do not reflect the developer and publisher of Runt. Hey Nokken, thank you for the lurk. Are you sure you want me to play this, Metal? This sounds like a lot. This sounds like a lot. Is this edge for the sake of edge? Are you sure, chat? This edge is good. Chat. If enough of you say you want me to play this, and the themes are reflected very well, you can quit anytime. I know I can quit anytime. I don't need to stream this game. But you were asking very insistently. I don't know. You know, I'll give it a go. I must be but you must be political. That is the condition. You must be political. Saving. Don't touch nothing now. Seems like your average game from 15 plus years ago to me, so you're okay with it? Okay, dialogue choices cannot be skipped while fast forwarding. Okay. I don't know how many times I've written this. I feel like I'm running out of pages. You must be political, that is the condition. Why must you be political, Katsuni? But each time I think about what happened last week, I remember more and more until it becomes a big puzzle of details that just don't fit right. I'm gonna start over, right from the beginning. Hunter, Tanner, Carver, Fisher. My name is Runt. Me and my brothers live out near Skipclaw on the perimeter right where the land meets the forest. There are 5 of us, Hunter, Tanner, Carver, Fisher, and me. I was 9 when it all happened. All I ever heard was the big power station over in Grenshaw blew up. When the smoke filled the air, it never left. All connections and wired shit that never got up and running again. It's black and grey every day since that power station blew up. Black and grey everywhere as far as anyone knows. The stars don't even show at night. We almost starved that first year. Nobody ever came for us out here in Skipclaw. No army, no government. And food won't grow easy in a world like this. Animals don't like it too much neither. There's a rift in the world now. A crack in reality. Dad would have known what to do. He always said there was a war out there. That's why he was hard on us. There was going to be a war someday between the righteous and the unrighteous. Oh, God. A war for our souls. He was doing his best. Dad always said he was a righteous man in a world full of sickness and perversion. He preached a while down south until most of his flock turned away from the truth God had given him. It was too hard for him, I guess. God demands a lot. He demands a lot so he can give a lot. And Dad was the mouth of God. He could whip up a crowd into a frenzy like nothing, crying and dropping the floor and speaking in tongues the way God wanted him to. Show him that he was there and that he was real and Dad was the mouth of God. It was too much for those of little faith. Dad left, taking a bit of land on the outskirts of Skipclaw, where he was going to prepare us for the war and the end of time. He started saying we didn't need the town, we were better off without the world. He said evil came through the radio and the TV stations, and the bags of chicken feed, and the starter potatoes, and the seeds, and all the friends we've made. All we really needed was each other and our faith. If things were hard, God wanted them to be hard. If we were unhappy, it's because we weren't right with God. Because we had tainted the earth with our sins. Dad did what he could, but he wasn't trained to run our little outpost at the edge of the wilderness. He had been a juvie warden during seminary. He picked up a few things. Knew a few guys who built us a bunker and filled it with enough rations to keep us going for a few years. Everything else we had was books. Copies and copies of Dad's teachings he had printed on his own dime. His own fucking dime, he used to say. Red in the face, because no one wanted him. No one was ready to open their hearts to God enough to buy one. Those were the first things I ever learned to read. I didn't even know picture books were a thing until I was too old to read them. We failed Dad, all of us, and he punished us the way you punish a grown man. Oh God. We starved and froze and dried out in the heat. We slept short hours, up at the crack of dawn, till so late at night you couldn't stand on your own 2 feet anymore. No matter how tired or thin we got, we did our work. We had to survive the tests, the never-ending tests. And then Dad got sick. He had a disease whose name I think Hunter knows, but I forgot. He needed shots. When the world went up in a bunch of black smoke, all the medicine went with it. Not that Dad had believed any of it before. You couldn't really ever trust what the government was doing. But that medicine he needed, somehow he found some. He took it religiously, and then we ran out. And when we ran out, that was it. One day he was alive, and one day he wasn't. He died after years of wasting away right when he was needed the most. And the world, with its apocalypse, proved him right. Of course we had to go back to the town then. We needed them. They needed us too, it seemed. Hunter fixed it all up. 5 of us strong boys with enough guns and ammo for a small army. Became the army of Skipclaw. We patrolled, we policed, we hunted, and we maintained the perimeter. Nobody comes, and nobody goes without Hunter knowing about it. No one goes out at night without Hunter knowing about it. Nobody so much as sneezed without Hunter's permission. Hunter's word was law. The whole town was ours. It thrived as best as it could under the unbearable weight of an endless blackened sky. This sounds horrible. Would Dad be proud? I guess it doesn't matter now. Dad was gone. Mum died giving birth to me, and none of us knew what to feel. We were on our own. It was 5 years to the day of his death when everything changed. All because of what we saw in the church. Runt. Runt, get up. You better be moving by the time I get there. Bruh. Get up, quit hiding. Father stood over me. I couldn't see his face, but I just knew he was sneering at me. I'm up. You scribbled in your little diary again. Kinda girly, ain't it? Is he up? He's up, writing his damn little book again. You ready to go, Runt? No lollygagging now. I said I was up. Oh, we back talking now. Father, we don't have the time. It's not my fault we're late. Runt been hiding from us again. Can't sniff me out anymore under that thing. Don't you get lippy with me, I'll fucking knock you upside the head. I'll fucking throw your bed out the pond, you hear me? What are you all squabbling about? The character designs are very kind of cool, I think. We're just talking to Runt. He says he's ready. I can speak for myself, you know. Yeah, you weren't speaking earlier, were you? It was the anniversary of Dad's death, on a Sunday no less. We were going to church. We call it the church, but it's really just a rickety old storehouse we fixed up to serve something holy. I didn't really want to go. However, fucking asshole that he was right. I had been hiding, foolish as it was. I'd hoped that they wouldn't find me. I wanted to see their flashlights sweeping past the windows, hear them calling out my name before giving up and going on without me. One of them would unload on me, probably. Probably Hunter. But at least I wouldn't be in that church. That's why I was Runt. The little guy, the weak guy. One hiding under the bed from the switch. He always found me because I still hadn't learned that lesson. I had to get my stuff packed before I went. As I stood up from my little nook between the kitchen and the basement, I saw my backpack had spilled everywhere. All my things were scattered across the floor. I knew it was Carver. Luckily, I still had my flashlight. Pick up items. You need to search. Okay, you'll often need to dig through a lot of trash or clutter to find exactly what you need. Radio. Map. Okay. I had to sort my shit out. Make sure it was all in the best spot to grab. I remember checking my bag. You can examine items in it by hovering over them and by clicking on your bag. All the items you collect can be examined, blah, blah, blah. Let's get your radio and journal ready. Okay. What do I do now? Ah. Switch it on and off. That's why you keep track of your thoughts and feelings. Go on checking out the journal. I feel irritated. I can't put my finger. I don't feel much about myself. My only dreams are vague nightmares. I hope my rounds are quick. Okay. Okay, how do I exit? I'm gonna be real, I feel like the UI is... I get what they're trying to do here, but the UI is a pain in the ass at times. There was no sense in waiting. I'd put it off long enough. I got my things in my backpack, went out the door of our house. Everyone was waiting for me. Shit. Took you long enough. Hey, fun guy. You did this last year. What was your damn problem? I stayed silent. There wasn't anything I could say. No answer, no reason was ever enough. Cat's got his tongue as usual. Too good to be talking to us. We got everything? Waiting on Hunter now. He was scoping, making sure all the paths was clear. No outsiders come round today. Schedule was set. No patrol for any of us today. Then Runt. He should have done one. I had done one. Crack of dawn. Shivering along the perimeter before the sun attempted its daily battle to break through the clouds. he being truthful? Did anyone see him? I tried being quiet. Think he's a liar, Carver? Well, he wasn't being real forthcoming earlier, was he? He got halfway round the fence, took a load off under some sycamore. I tried to be quiet. Really, I did. Hey, Harry, how you doing? Carver, don't be saying shit now. Think of it. You was also missing all yesterday. Tell the truth, Runt. You're jerking it on. Why are you so fucking weird? At key points in conversation throughout the game, you get to decide what Runt will say. Some of your dialogue choices will make you alter your personality and can change how certain characters react to you. Into how your personality is shifting inside of you as a result of your choices can be seen in the Me page of your journal. Oh, welcome home. Was I jerking it under sun? Well, I feel like this is just gonna have a bad consequence on me. Check the log sheet. I ain't a flaker. I don't know how I feel about this game. It's a nice visual novel, I guess. Yeah, I'll be checking. I ain't on you 24/7, you hear me? Carver, you're fucking weird. Runt. Oh, Jesus Christ. Hi, buddy. We fell silent, standing in our little half circle around Hunter. He towered over us, bearskins draped over his big-ass frame, making him even bigger than he actually was. We were all on edge. The Hunter was in a black mood. Had been for a few days at that point. It was like this shadow that swallowed all the light around him, half hiding him. Jesus Christ, man. Half hiding him against the prairie grass. You could feel it even before he got close to you. This horrible heaviness muted only by the weight of his big old bearskin cloak. See, Hunter had a dog named River, this shaggy, vicious thing that snapped at anyone that wasn't Hunter. I could tell you what kind of dog it was. Some sort of mutt that swore was part wolf. Those two loved each other more than anything, certainly more than Hunter ever loved us. He never hit River, not once. Game is quite intense, yeah. I think the art is great for it, though. He would have liked us better if we were all his dogs. Loyal, silent, obedient, even without the ability to question his command. But River had died a few days ago. Hunter didn't say much else on it. Not how, or why, or when, but only that River died. He kept the mutt hidden away, not letting any of us get close to it. I could only take his word that River had passed. None of us had used the words to comfort each other. I was silent when he told me he was standing stone still among the chickens in the yard. That early morning, no doubt everyone else was the same. That black mood in the days had followed River's death and built like wood heaped on an invisible fire. That silent heat rippled around us as we stood before him. I wish I could say I had pity for him. For River to die and then having to deal with Dad's anniversary right after, but I think I was scared more than anything. All this heat, it had to go somewhere. God help who it struck. Ready? He turned towards us, face black under the teeth of his hood. I nodded. We all nodded. We were waiting for Runt. He was hiding. I wasn't hiding. How many times do I got to say it? Enough. His hand was on my shoulder, even through my jacket, through his gloves. Feel his strength, his power. Them fingers dug in tight. Let's go. Runt, take point. I knew my brothers were sneering under their masks. Taking point was not something to be proud of. It was the first line of defense if we got attacked. The first wall of meat. You all are arseholes. They all started gathering their things. Little things we would bring to leave in Dad's memory. His sermon book, his pamphlet, some candles. He ain't got no body or grave. Had to burn him so it wouldn't attract them. It had became tradition that we'd all take a little trinket or something that would be Dad, his presence, his spirit. We were always finding bits of him everywhere at home, like somehow, in his death, his ghost had come home, and I don't know, melded with the house. His hair, his clothes, his writings, every nook and cranny, he was there, always watching us, like he never left. Runt. Yes? Let's bug out. Now. It was a bad idea to keep him waiting any longer. The map is in the lower right-hand corner near your bag. You'll use the map to move around and skip claw and see the lay of land. Okay. Walking through grass. With each step, my feet got heavy. I was stomping on sticks and dry grass, getting cuffed at the back of the head by Carver when I slowed down. Nobody said anything, but each time I lagged, I could feel the heat of their eyes on my neck. Hunter halted, raised a hand. Stop. Down. We dropped. We didn't disobey. Not in this world. Hesitation got you killed. See you later, Eden. I hope you have a wonderful day at work. 9 o'clock. There, just beyond the top of the fence. We lay on the crest of the hill, looking down into a shallow, dry gulch. We shuffled in the grass, positioning ourselves just beneath the brush. We smelled it before we saw it, a thick, acrid, musky scent. There it was. We have all sorts of names for them. What is that thing? Can you guys even see that? It's so dark. Hunter calls them the unholy. Tanner and Fisher call them lung dogs, along with most of the town. Carver calls them those flesh fucks. To me, they're always twisters. Why twisters? Well, how else are you supposed to get the head off? You always hear them if they were close. Them big sacks pressing out air, wheezing and breathing and gurgling, sounding like death rattles. Even more than their breathing, I hate their eyes. How they never seem to blink. Even before I knew all they could do, I wanted to put a bullet in their skulls just for those lids to finally drop and quit staring at me. They appeared after the blackout, pouring in from some unknown place for some unknown purpose. Something more than an animal, less than human. We had our rifles, but they had the dark. The never-ending dark. I tried to focus. Nothing good comes from daydreaming on a battlefield. We watched as it swayed in the field. Us hiding low in the grass. Hunter prepped his rifle and waited. What is this thing meant to be? Is it just like a weird, mound of flesh? It's hard to really make out. Typically, we aim to engage and scare them off, but a wasted bullet is a wasted bullet. Just finished the first act of Mechanicus 2. Holy, that last mission was stressful. Yeah, Raven, it would be. Mechanicus 2 is great, though. As we crouched there, I felt a hand bump mine, knocking my flashlight. I couldn't tell you who it was, but my gut says it was Carver. Couldn't move quick enough. My flashlight blasted over the fence and out across the field. Who fucking stopped talking? What is that? We all stilled at Hunter's heavy command. I'll beat the shit out of you if you so much as breathe tone I was all too familiar with. A beam caught the twister as it tore and moored at some creature. We watched, unable to look away. Sounds carried over the prairie, wet and sinewy, and echoed in the cold. In the dark grass, I felt a firm hand pour around mine. Took my flashlight and went to flick it off. The dead sound of the beam powering off cracked into the night. Twister looked up. It was near black in the field, the Twister liquid shadow against the grass. Hunter lifted his gun. The Twister twitched. And disappeared, quick as it came. We waited, breathing low against the swaying grass. When it didn't return, we slowly stood up and kept on. Grabbing my back from someone's gun urged me back to the front. It felt like I was marching to my doom, which, if I think on it, I guess I was. Never got over how the church looked that night. Is this a psychological or horror? Yes, I think. Yes. The way the water had seeped from the window, like tear stains from a weeping eye, like it was living, and felt bad nobody was coming to it no more. After Dad passed, service slowed. Nobody could take on his work. Nobody had his speech, his tongue, his way of moving. He could make you believe in miracles. He could make you believe in anything. He was an unstoppable force, like a tornado or a hurricane. You could feel the emptiness in that church when he died. All the air went out of the room. Nobody took over. Not even Hunter. So it was locked up. All the faithfuls had died before him anyway, or fucked off into Skipclaw after he died. We used it occasionally, for important days, like today, or for the meetings, if they ever got bad. Hey, son of Vulcan, how are you doing? We were here the day the blackout happened, bright 1 second, and black the second after. I hid under pews while people scrambled in panic outside. You can still see the blood on the floor from the few times the twisters broke in. Fighting our way back home to the farm, we lost a lot of people. I was only 9. I covered my eyes. It's the last time my brothers were nice to me. It was back when they guided me home. I didn't cry. They told me not to, so I didn't. Got off work not that long ago. Welcome home. I hope that you get to relax after a nice shift. I hope that work wasn't too bad today. We are playing some game demos and chat requests. There's a lot. Did I ping Discord when I started streaming, by the way? Did I remember to do that? This is very important. Very, very important. Or did I just I did do it. Cool. Excellent. I'm 19 now, and I've cried a lot since then. I can't help it. After all, I was Runt. Who's got the code? Not me. I got it. Go. Get. I had never been given the code before. Them trusting me with the code was new. Them trusting me at all was new. We're waiting, Runt. Get to it, boy. It's fucking cold out here. No time to think on it, so I went forward towards the hollow, haunted place. Are they going to kill me? You'll need to complete a variety of puzzles and chores in order to progress through sections of the game. Some are simple, while others will require a bit more thought. Check your inventory, talk to people, and think carefully about how to approach the puzzle. Order. Cool. Once the lock opened, I felt a darkness pass through me. I hadn't even cracked the door open yet, but something strange and cold was seeping out from underneath the door. It wasn't a draft or wind, or like a wind or anything, just something. Something evil. My brothers always said I was too sensitive, too soft. They called me girly and weak and flighty. If I had known what was beyond those doors and how it would change all our lives, I would have run, then and there. Run and run and run and never looked back. Oh, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? Can't see shit in here. Well, quit bitching and get a candle going. Smells funny in here. That inky black feeling only got thicker. You could smell through that? Smell? Well, yeah, I smell it too now. What is that? Hush. We fell silent. My nerves were twitching like a guilty sinner. Light up, boys. Beams sky high. What the fuck is that? You Runt, go check it out. Me? Why me? Just go, shit ass. My hands were trembling. My gun rattled in my grip. I couldn't, at the time, explain even to my numb, dumb self why I felt the way I felt. Why? Why would you do that, Val? Maybe it was something like the hunter's gut, an instinct. Dad would have called it divine insight. My brothers would have called it being a pussy. I stepped closer. In the dark, I was suddenly assaulted by the deathly smell, rotten and sour like the vinegar in our caning room. My steps creaked, mixing with a cold wind blowing from the outside. Ah! But there was something else too. This slow, thick dripping. That's the smell. I see. I see, Val. I can't believe you'd let one off right in the middle of chat. But I was trembling now as I write it. What a thing we saw. What it did to us. What did we see? S. Say what is this? 5 days. Oh shit. We stood in stunned silence as each of us took the message written in the odds and ends of a dozen of creatures. These are entrails. Was it a warning? Was it a threat? We didn't know then, but it was a promise. A promise that would be fulfilled by me.
Now, this is the only way to travel.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Ah. Okay, I can get on board with this. I can get on board with this. This is a very cool game. Wait, is there more in the demo? Okay. How long is this demo meant to be, Metal? How long is this demo meant to be? We left the church stunned and silent. Hunter radiating heat like a fire made out of hate. It was a violation, you see. An unholy mess made of that sacred day. It made him mad. So mad. Not that he would say it. Not with words. He didn't need to. You could feel that heat coming off him in waves, and it whipped us all into stupid silence. He took the point. We followed with our tails between our legs. No one talking. Not even Carver. As we walked, the feeling in the church followed us home again. Our sixth, most dark brother. I couldn't shake it. I don't know if anyone else felt it. But from how our heads hung low, it was like our own shadows were too heavy. It was late. It was late when we got home. Deep night. I almost cursed the old screen door for creaking too loud when it slammed my ass on the way in. Wanda was already up the stairs. We weren't going to talk about it yet. I sort of wanted to talk about it right then and there. The longer he was quiet, the worse it was going to be when he finally wasn't. I settled down on my cold mattress with a knot in my stomach. The feeling grew, gnawing and twisting like it was going to come out of my throat. Every time I was almost asleep, it woke me back up again, like it was tapping on the shoulder, not wanting to let me forget it. I had done something wrong that night in the church. What it was, I didn't quite know yet. The way things were around here, maybe I never could. I lay on my mattress with my eyes closed in the dark, trying to keep myself calm. Feeling haunted me. This feeling of failure. Day 1, Monday. It didn't matter how bad I slept that night. I was up before the crack of dawn, first out to the hen house to let the girls out, and right back in to scrub down the kitchen before I fixed up breakfast. A life like this didn't let you feel sorry for yourself for long. House stuff was my job, mainly cooking and cleaning and watching the hens, tending the little garden out back. Every day I fixed breakfast and dinner, no exceptions, no days off, no matter how piss-poor Tanner said my cooking was. At least they let me off the hook for lunch, seeking to take it somewhere in Skipclaw if they could. Breakfast that morning was nothing but eggs, scrambled up with a few sorry sausages and toast. Butter and jam would keep them happy, keep their mouths full from talking too, and would it keep me happy too? I jabbed at the sausages sizzling in the pan. I could hear somebody getting up in another room. That twisting feeling turned to my stomach like a gut punch. I hadn't felt this bad since Dad died. But I couldn't say nothing. Even if someone else felt the same way, I couldn't say anything. Nobody would care. Sounds like a better breakfast than you ever have. Val, take better care of yourself. Treat yourself to a fry-up every now and again. Fuck. I set out plates, and just on time, as if they could hear the clunking, everyone shuffled into the room. Hunter first, then Fisher, scratching at his neck and yawning and shaking his head like a dog as he sat, then Carver and Tanner, right together like they always were. In the backyard, the rooster crowed in the morning. You need coffee, you're getting one. How much caffeine have you had today, Fungi? Also, do you need coffee? It's 10:30 at night. Why do you need coffee? It's a reasonable time to go to sleep, Fungi. Don't get coffee. Go to sleep if you're tired at this time of day. It's a reasonable time. Go to bed. Lol. Lord our God, we come to you as undeserving sinners. Thanks for the bounty you have seen fit to put upon our table. Yeah, but Yuriko, it's 5 p.m. for you. That's not an unreasonable time to have a coffee. Or caffeine. Say that last night. Hey, I did that without any caffeine, really. Wait, no, I did have a Monster. But that was at midnight. Hey, look. I got a good night's sleep, okay? I had an afternoon nap as well. Don't at me about sleeping. Besides, we were having fun. It was a great time. We did so much Mech Warrior. Keep your hand heavy upon us as you lead us through the trials of this earth and form us into soldiers of your will. Amen. We were silent then, waiting for Hunter to speak more, but he just pulled his hands back, picked up his fork and started eating. Same, you just woke up from your nap. Nice. I do my best to take good care of myself. I encourage others to do the same. I get sad when people don't take good care of themselves. I feel like sometimes we all just need someone to push us to take better care of ourselves. If not for our own sake, then for the sake of the people that we care about. Because no one wants to see the people they care about in a bad way. So please take care of yourselves. Or you will make me sad. That's just how it works. We were silent then, waiting for Hunter to... Oh wait, no. I've already read that. We followed suit, and once all our mouths were stuffed, he finally spoke. Who did it? He looked around at us. You couldn't see his eyes, but you could feel them boring into each other from under the teeth of his mask. Did what? Ow. Bob jumped high from his seat. I saw why Tanner had stepped on his foot under the table. What do you think, genius? We didn't do nothing. We wouldn't do that to Dad. You mean the thing in the church? Oh no, we ain't got time to be pulling shit like that. Are you fucking crazy? Carver, baffled as he always was by Hunter trying to chastise him, had his hands up, fork still gripped in one. Fisher wiped a sweaty palm on his dirty pant leg. Tanner stared at Carver, then back at Hunter. Someone must be punished. You mean killed? Ain't it a bit much to kill someone over this? Oh god. Hunter turned and clamped his hand over the back of Tanner's neck. He leaned in, pulling Tanner's head down and close so he could speak right in his ear. His voice was hot and low. You want them unpunished? Is that the message you wish to send for the defamation of our church? The mockery of our day of mourning. You don't want us to do nothing. It's all fucking right to do that to us. Is that what you want to say to them? I knew that hand, how hard it could squeeze. It was like a vice. 5 seconds in and you weren't sure if he was going to start snapping bones. Hannah bore it silent, didn't move a muscle. Chat. Let him go. Whip fast. Hunter looked at me and slammed Tanner's head right down on the edge of the table. I saw it bounce back as the breath left Tanner's lungs. Hunter was up, coming towards me. I saw white before the pain knocked into me. Quick 1-2, Hunter's fist against my jaw, and the counter banging into my head. I was on the floor before I knew it. Instinctively, I curled up, arms over my throbbing head. Fucking tell me what to do again, Runt. I stayed quiet and as still as possible. Who's fucking in charge here? You are, sir. And what does that mean? I keep my fucking mouth shut, sir. Oh. Nothing from Hunter but the soft scrape of his shoes over the linoleum. My stomach tightened at the sound, muscles bracing for one of his feet to come slamming into my ribs, but his steps receded. He sat down. I got up slowly, rearranging my mask on my face, and stood tight against the back counter. He's right. Tanner's voice was weak, warbling, his breath slow and deliberate. His hands gripped the edge of the tables as Carver endlessly cradled his shoulders. We have to send a message to whoever did this. They can't fuck with us. It's pretty good. It's pretty good, Metal. I'm not gonna lie. This is good storytelling. Terrifying and tense. It's a good drama. Sure. Well, we will. We just gotta be stealthy is all. We'll find that son of a bitch, Hunter. Don't you worry a thing. We'll find him and string him up by his nutsack. Right, Hunter. That'd be alright, wouldn't it? What if it wasn't a human? Old Table turned to look at him. Fisher worked his hand up under his mask to scratch again. It is kinda edgy, but like the right amount. Yeah, it doesn't like overdo it. So far, at least. You think it's one of those unholy? I mean, both of them can do stuff. We've all seen it. It was true. We had all seen it. Every time somebody died, one of those things we saw it. Twisters were cunning, wily things with a taste for scattering their prey when they were done eating it. Bones this way, half-chewed organs that way, each making some kind of symbol if you looked at it too long. Like it was trying to say something you were too stupid to understand, or too scared. That message in the church. It could have been a Twister attack. A few of them in a pack. But it could have been a smoke. They were subtle at first. Lights throwing shadows that didn't quite match up. Shadows that moved when you weren't looking right at them. Some folks said it was our eyes adjusting. Like that was some kind of effect of the shadow in the sky, a withdrawal from the lack of light. Then people started disappearing, more and more just wandering off in the night. Then they were found. They were always in some old barn or an abandoned building. The bodies. You couldn't tell who they were anymore. All you knew is that they were human once. They were a person once. Now they were just corpses curled up like dead bugs. Skin and faces dried to paper like old corn husks. Hunter called a town meeting after the first few bodies were found. The town came to the conclusion on a few things. There was something new out there. It liked the dark, and it needed people to be alone. After that, we paired up, kept flashlights on us as much as we could ward off the darkness, but it was always dark now. And you can't be with someone else around the clock non-stop, even if you like them a lot. It's why we got these masks. They protect us. I'll tell you that story another time. Basically, the smokes can't see us with them on, like we're camouflaged. That's why we wear them now. As long as we're out of the dark, as long as we're not alone, as long as we hide our faces, the smokes can't get to us. Funny, I think I've seen my brother's masks more than I've ever seen their faces. Some townies I've only ever known through their masks. My mask was... Oh, we got to choose one. I kind of like this one. This looks very eldritch and horrific. But these two are also kind of nice. Which one, you know what, I'm going to pick this one. I've chosen it. A hubcap made out of junk. A while to form it tight around my face. Sometimes it's heavy as fuck. But that ain't here or there. I watched Fisher scratch himself again. Lights were steady in the kitchen, buzzing a low hum into the cold. I mean, both of them can do stuff. We've all seen it. Personally, you like the cowboy hat the most. At Fisher's words, I felt I had to say something. I don't think they would have done that. My words died in my mouth the second I said it. Looked at me at once, each of their masks staring at their vacant blank eye holes. What, you got any other ideas? You ain't got shit. Come on, let's hear it. Might be funny. You want to entertain him? His little scratchy voice pisses me off. Come on, Runt, speak up. Tell us about your little ideas. Table slamming. Oh. Hunter was quiet. That fist on the table was all he needed to say. Everyone shut up and looked at him, but Hunter, he was looking at me. I could feel his eyes on me, even if I couldn't see them. Ask questions. Investigate. I want everyone searching. There will be no failure, no backing out. Carver, you're walking the perimeter. Tanner, guard duty. Fisher, hydroplant. If you find anything, report back immediately. That's an order. We all nodded. Runt, follow anyone you want today. I was too weak to go out solo. Everyone knew this. Every day I had to do this. Every day they hated it, and hated me a little bit more. But they wouldn't go against Hunter's word. And as much as nobody would hate to admit it, they needed me. Maybe they would have never mourned me as a brother, but they would have mourned me as the loss of a soldier. Not a loss of a warm body. The loss of a meat shield. The loss of a warm body. The loss of a meat shield. They all ignored me as I lifted my head to look at each of them. Shit. Who do you want to stick with, chat? Shifts. Each day you have to select one of your brothers to conduct a shift with. Shifts last most of the day and can be started immediately after breakfast or after you spend your free time and skip for. Cannot do the shift with the same brother twice in 1 week. Whoever you select will not be available again. Consider who you choose carefully. Finish the demo 4 times. I'm not doing 4 playthroughs of the demo. Fuck it. I'll stay with Hunter. It's awful. He nodded. I could sense his irritation at it, even across the kitchen. Then it settled. Do rounds in the meantime. Runt, meet after. I want you to talk to all the loners. Anyone who lives alone, spends most of their shifts alone. On my own. You can handle it. It's time you started pulling your weight around here. It took a ton of it not to drop my eyes to the plates on the table. Carver slammed the table and stood up out of his chair. He's letting that fuck out on his own. Why do we gotta do our shifts while he's fucking running around with his dick in his hand? Quit bitching unless you want Wanted to staple him to your ass for the week. Runt will be useful this way. Less heat on us prying into those townies. Hunter kept his gait until he sunk back into his chair with disgust. Runt. Yes, sir. You got that diary? Girl, Charlize, the doc, and his pesky twins. Also, that fucker Willie, and that radio fella Rad. I know we got more people, but just focus on those for today. You got 2 hours, don't piss it away. I cringed internally at that moment. He usually gave me more time, but no doubt trying to get involved, him and Tanner made him determined to knock me down a peg. He stood, they followed. Oh dear. I stayed to wash the dishes. It was time to head out. I haven't let or deciding where to go. Where did I start the day? Okay, chat. Where are we going to start? Breakfast. Or rather, straight away. Free time is given to you by Hunter. Let's explore the world and talk to people. Pissing Hunter off or breaking the rules will reduce the amount of time. Hunting for 5 hours. Defo coffee time. No! No, keep going without. Go to bed. Go to bed. Go to bed. Go to bed. Go to Brad. On who to meet? No, I'm just going to whatever I think is the closest one. The dairy was right over the field from the food stores. So you could smell it before you saw it. Oh, you could smell it all the way across town if the wind was right. It smelled like shit. Hot, burning cow shit. Even with the mask on, it'd sear into your eyes. The hours only count who you meet. Yeah, I know. You would have recommended this farm anyway. I mean, it looked like the closest place. I assumed the bear symbol was where we were. Living there as long as I had, I never got used to it. Diary belonged to the Garlands. But there was only one of them still around in those days. I remembered Dad saying the Garlands were one of them families who settled in Skip for way back in 1800 and something. Bear is where Hunter will wait. Ah. Still thought they were hot shit because their ancestors had a prized heifer. That meant they could run the town. Maybe he was right. I don't know. Garland's had always been kind to me as far back as I could remember. Hard workers, no nonsense type who'd always wave back and smile when you hollered a hello. Next, you'd recommend Plaza. Get the most dialogue and backstory. Okay. Generous people, even after the blackout. It was a worse world without them all. Happened a few years ago, after a real cold winter. Perhaps the worst day we'd had since the blackout. Night, Metal. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for this recommendation. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. It's a good time. Maybe when it gets its full release, I will, Wait, Metal, before you go. Is the demo just day one? Is the demo just day one? Okay, we'll finish day one. That's a very thorough review, I think. But yeah, no, this is a good game. I mean, I feel like I could not review the game any further because it's a good time. But yeah, no, this is a good game. I kind of want to see what else it's got for me though. That's the, Carver and Tanner were part of the group that had to carry out the bodies and hoist them over the fence to burn. We couldn't hold burials for them. Too risky with disease catching and medicine running low. I think that was the first time I'd really worried about how long we'd last in this world. It didn't seem to matter if we wore our masks or had fenced ourselves away from the outside world when a simple cold could wipe you out. No one is forcing you to talk. That's true. Everyone goes up in smoke eventually. Everyone except Charlize. That is, and her sister Ivy, who skipped town soon after. I saw Charlize there that day. Walking hay from a wheelbarrow over the fence, and the sight of her made me smile, even with the scent of cow shit on the wind. Is that who I think it is? Oh, she cute. I mean, even under that fucking mask. Even under that mask. She cute. Lol. Is she a proper cowgirl? Holy fuck. Hey Zira. How you doing? Many of my redeems may be broken today. But that's okay. Oh no. I have made a mistake. Ah. Why? A boost. Kelly is what you'd call a real looker, even with the mask on. LOL! I didn't even read the dialogue when I was showing that, man. Bye! Thank you again for your support, Metal. I'll admit, my heart did a little flip in my chest hearing her the smile in her voice as she called out to me. She's kind, like I said, like all the Garlands. She always treated me like a kid brother, though. Though these days, I don't know. Her feelings were all knotted up, twisted. I didn't know if what I felt was friendship or something more. I cared for her. I wanted her safe. I'd know I'd do anything for her. But the thought of telling her that didn't sit right with me, as if she needed any more strayer trouble. Morning, Miss Garland. Need any help with that hay? Miss Garland, come on, Runt. I'm only 25. And nah, I'm just finishing up now. How are you, kiddo? Been better, been worse. She laughed at that and stuck her pitchfork into the soft earth, clapped the stray hay off her gloves, and swung her thick braid around the back over her shoulder. How's everyone doing at the farm after yesterday? I was surprised at first that she'd asked. How many people in the town actually remembered Dad at all, let alone the day he died? But that was Charlize. She was the type to always want to know what was going on. Not in a nosy way, but in a caring way. Like if you told her your birthday, she'd write it down on the spot and remember it forever. Well, we're all kinda... I picked the handles of the wheelbarrow for her as I struggled to think of what to say. Charlize wasn't that much older than me, though. It wasn't like I needed to hide the hardship from her. God knows she dealt with plenty already, with her family and bad years stock. And, you know, having to live in the world the way it was now. I just didn't want to add to that. It didn't feel right telling her that. Just like it didn't seem right to be telling her I wasn't a kid anymore. She deserved peace. She walked right next to me along the fence as the cows chewed hay, cud, with a look on their face like they were bored of us before we even showed up. There was an incident. An incident? What happened? She was on edge. More than Karen, I heard in her voice. It was real worry. Made me grit my teeth. I shouldn't have said anything, but I had to tell everything now. My gut churned as I recall for her everything we saw yesterday. The blood, the guts, the words, all across the black wall, crooked and dripping fresh. I couldn't see her face, of course. She stopped looking my way as I talked. By the time we'd reached the barn, her arms were crossed, her shoulders tight. Jeez, that gives me shivers. It was something. And you don't know who did it. Or what did it. What did it? You know, one of those things did it. Do they really do that? I don't know. Maybe. Charlize went real quiet. As far as I knew, Charlize was also the who had seen the most of the twisters on account of being a real crack shot. Just pests to be picked off. But the thought of these pests being able to do something like that, it sent shivers down my spine all over again. As if the thought had just occurred to me for the first time right then. What are you planning to do? I half shrugged. Investigating, I guess. I couldn't go on. Charlize's head cocked. I don't like the idea of bothering you with this. Makes you feel like I got it out for you, and I don't. And I swear I don't. She laughed again. It felt like a light had just turned on in the darkness of the barn. Don't worry about me. I can handle a few questions. Well, have you seen anything? You know, creatures, townies sneaking around? She hummed to herself as she thought, looking out past the shuffling herd. Well, I never had a good feeling about Willie, but he's been lingering around Mr. Dixon's office some nights more than usual. And he's still hounding me about spare bottles for his business. You know why some people need a little drink every now and again, but you put a bunch of people in a cage and liquor them up? Not good. I don't agree with everything that brother of yours says, but not allowing any parties is maybe the smartest thing he's ever done. After the fence, of course. Hunter had made a declaration early on there was to be no booze of any kind in Skipclaw. Bruh, don't prohibition people. That's awful. Was nobody liked that. Ah, that's not the model. I'm trying to switch my model to the proper one. Ah. And then I needed to do the bean redeem. I don't know, this game has really got me, chat. This game has really, really got me. It's a good game. It's a really good game. I might. I'm not saying I will, but I might actually stream this properly. It's an interesting story. Ah, why? Of course, Hunter was talked into letting Willie keep his setup for medical purposes only. Well, there was rule. No booze-ups, no big parties, no strain on the power grid, no noise to attract unfriendlies, no drunks doing stupid shit that would get us all killed. The last and only party we'd had amounted to a potluck in the old school gym while the radio played the same CD out of a little boombox. The kids played some ratty old board games with half the pieces missing. Then everyone got bored and went home. Oh dear. I guess it made some people happy. Of course, there's still parties if you know where to look. Ayo? Really? How come I never hear anything about them? Well, you're just a sweet young thing. Once you start getting a bit older, I'll start letting you in on the shindigs. I frowned. Life's pretty tough nowadays. What if I don't make it another year? That's the beauty of living, Runt. Giving you something to look forward to. That's my gift to you. That's hope. I'll never forget her words. Hope. What would you say to a big glass of milk? Ayo! Where am I sourcing it from? The touch more age appropriate. Lol. Gee, thanks. Can I ask you something? Yes, ma'am? Why do they have you doing pickups today? Is Carver feeling under the weather or something? I haven't seen him around here lately. Dairy pickups and check-ins were a task Carver took upon himself with great pride. Ever since he started mixing more with the townies, he said it was smart to breed good relations with the old family. And if Shirley's had to be there, well, all the better for breeding. Oh God. His words, not mine. One of the only things he and Tanner didn't see eye to eye on. Tanner kept his distance with the townies. Seemed to hate Carver mixing too much with them. But Tanner kept his distance from everyone. Everyone that wasn't Hunter or Carver. I can tell you what he's up to. Hunter might know, but even then, with Carver being Carver, I shrugged. I figured, if you do talk or whatever, you all big old manly men do, could you do me a favor? I nodded. Tell him not to be a stranger. I haven't seen him since Saturday, which I know ain't a long time, but I wanted to tell her I couldn't. That in fact, I wouldn't be doing that. Oh, is Carver fucking her? Damn. I see how it is. Carver, no matter how charming he was, had a bad side, a rotten core. He wasn't going to be nice forever. And Charlize, who had been nothing but kind to me, had to be subject to that. You two aren't. Charlize waved her hand all shy-like. Don't you worry about that. Just tell him, alright? Shouldn't mess with a guy like him. You shouldn't mess with a guy like him. Oh? Why's that now? He ain't good for you. He ain't good for this town. He's a player, a strutting rooster crowing about all sorts of shit. Wow, we cursing our own flesh and blood now? I'm gonna handle myself, Runt, I promise. But you're mighty cute when you try and stick up for me. Makes me want to pinch those little old cheeks of yours. Fuck you, lady. Maybe you're getting a bit cocky. You must be growing up. I tried to warn her. Say something. She's always been headstrong, confident. It's what made her her. I just need to talk to Carver about something. Are you preggers? Are you preggers, lady? I collected our ration of milk, and she sent me off with a hug that lasted just a little longer than usual. Aww. What was it? Metal said the plaza. Where was it? Metal said I should go next. Plaza. Where's the plaza? Plaza. I figured I'd run into the twins if I swung by one of their haunts. While the benches in the little plaza outside the old antique store seemed empty at first glance, I wasn't there 10 seconds before a pair of shadows overtook me with a flurry of footsteps. What's up? Hey, Runt. Looky here, temple and church. Where you been? They flanked me, pawing at me and tugging on my clothes for a second before settling down and knocking against each other, breathless. Where have I been? It's only been a day. You all can't handle not seeing me for a day? We get so damn bored without you. Yeah. Who'd we bitch at after classes, man? Yeah. Besides, you're just too damn fun to pick on. Yeah. Well, here I am. Hee hee. Temple and Church were the twin terrors of Dwight Dixon, Skipclaw's vet-turned-doctor. I liked them well enough, but by God if they weren't like two little rubber balls, bouncing off the floor and ceiling and the walls and each other so fast you couldn't keep track of either of them until one of them hit you right between the eyes. Doc said they were blessed with an overabundance of energy. Riled up, I'd call it. Hyperactive. That's fine, though. Always ready for pranks, for mischief, for distracting you with a tall tale that went fucking nowhere while the other snuck behind your back and swiped your rations. I knew from talking to their dad that they turned their 18 over the winter, but if I asked them their age myself, they'd never give me a straight answer. Truth wasn't as fun as keeping people guessing. Hell, last year they swapped places in school for a full week before anyone noticed that Temple was Church and Church was Temple. The masks were a boon to such nonsense, and even though they'd got reprimanded for their prank, I had a suspicion they still swapped places with a frightening regularity. I knew Temple liked spikes, and Church had a real liking for trinkets. It was the only way I could remember how to tell them apart. All this high energy and thirst for mischief made them pretty good sources for gossip, though how they managed to get on so many, getting on so many secrets being so loud was beyond me. They might know something helpful about what happened at the church. They weren't, but if they were sensing I was sniffing around for secrets, they might withhold it from me, turn it into a game. I didn't have the courage to ask them myself if their pranks had taken a turn for the twisted. Hunter finally let you off your leash? Hey, I ain't on a leash. Alright, then come hang out. You wanna hang out? Jimmy's got his bike all fixed up and he made a huge ramp over this huge mud pit he found back behind the mill, and we're gonna see if he can jump it. You can't tell anyone about it because it's dangerous. We'll get our asses kicked if his mom and dad find out. Because, you know, last year he broke his leg jumping out the barn, and Dad didn't know if it did set right. He's not even supposed to have his bike after that mess with the tractor. But we think he can jump that pit. Yeah, I want to see him jump that fucking pit. Come on, Runt. Don't you want to see him jump the pit? Or eat shit? Come on. Come watch, come watch. You never come hang out with us anyway. We want to have some fun. Come on, Runt. They were jumping up and down with excitement as they finished, thinking on what a glorious sight it'd be to see Jimmy go over that pit of mud. More part of me did want to see, but shucks, man. I hate to say it, but I got a shift soon. Oh no. Come on, Runt, just once. You're no fun. You never come hang out. You're right. I never did hang out. It might have been a good idea to go, especially if the whole group at the mud pit. I could ask around, see if anyone knew anything. Kids were underestimated as eyes and ears of the town. They got themselves into all sorts of secrets. All of us grown-ups were too busy to gossip on the grapevine or whatever. By that thought of going out with a bunch of towny teens, my stomach sunk. The truth was, the twins town, they made me feel old. Old and out of place. Kids were precious in Skipclaw. After the blackout, when it had become clear that the skies were never going to clear and nothing was ever going to get better, the townies got together and decided to piss off Hunter in the worst way possible. They declared that nobody under the age of 18 was to be put to work. No jobs, no shifts patrolling the perimeter, no skipping out on getting an education, work alongside their parents. Parents of Skipclaw wanted their kids to be just that, kids. Hunter went ballistic, shouted that they were weak, hanging on to the ways of a world that didn't exist anymore, blind to the realities of the one we really did live in. The perimeter had only gone up as fast as it did because we'd had kids right there, helping their parents around the clock. As Hunter saw it, if Skipclaw wanted to let them fuck around and contribute nothing, bring them up as soft and useless, they wanted to set their kids up for dying. A bad fight broke out in the meeting that night, with Carver and Tanner trying to keep Hunter from killing anyone in the mob, also trying to keep the mob from killing Hunter. Even still, a man nearly died getting Hunter's fate about keeping his son off the patrols. In the end, Hunter was outnumbered and exhausted by a group of desperate parents. He relented on one condition. They had to learn survival too. They had to learn it good. That calmed down Hunter enough not to finish the bloodshed he'd started that night. He walked out of that place with only a simmer of rage keeping his shoulders taut. Not that it was alright, though. It wasn't what Hunter wanted, and he made it everyone else's problem. First it was me, beaten blue and bloody, the night of the town meeting. Then it was one of the Mason teens running home with a dislocated shoulder for crossing too close to the church properly. Then potshots near kids playing ball. Little Laura being grabbed and told she was going to get thrown over the wall. The twisters. She didn't stop playing too loud. It just went on, and no one could stop Hunter. Thankfully, Church and Temple were too smart to ever fuck with Hunter. Too lucky to ever run into him. Instead, they enjoyed fucking with me. In a nice way, I think. I told you were on a leash. Come on, bark. Roll over. Cut it out, y'all. We're just teasing you. Can you or can't you hang? Mud pit, mud pit. The crowd in on me, like eel pups nipping at my heels trying to get me to chase them. They were young. They just wanted to play, but I couldn't, no matter how much they included me. I felt a wall between us. It wasn't just them. Even from behind everyone's masks, I felt weird looks. Every attempting, you left me lost in the conversation. I asked them what work they were doing, like what projects and repairs. I was met with silence. I wasn't one of them, and I never could be. But the twins, bless them both, never seemed to give up on me. They always tried to include me. Always let me know when the movie night was coming, and they'd come pick me up if I wanted to come. But hanging out was not part of survival. Not for a strayer. And so I had to content myself with the solace that being alone was better than being black and blue for having friends. Hey, what's going on in that big old head of yours? Yeah, Mr. Mysterious. Are you trying to be all cool again? I ain't. Sorry, I can't hang out with you guys, but... What's going on? Something wrong? Got something on, don't you? Is it a secret? We won't tell, we swear. Think you swear? They held out their fingers at the same time, brimming with excitement. Thinking on it, I could reveal what I saw, but did they really understand how to keep a secret? Have you guys seen anything weird? Weird? Twins looked at each other thinking, well, what do you mean by yeah? What's weird to you? Willie's been kind of weird lately. Getting into all sorts of scraps. No, that ain't weird. Come on, Ron. What's weird to you? If anything, people being strange or just seeing more of them creatures. Creatures? No, I don't think so. You ask around. You want us to help you? Yeah, we can help. They nodded their heads eagerly, quivering in their boots with excitement. You want to help? Help was like a magic word to them. They nodded, knocking into each other. What's the mission? Yeah, what do we gotta do? I didn't want to tell them what happened, but I couldn't not give them something to work off of. There was a bit of, like, graffiti over at the church. Hunters steaming about it. Some gutted animals around the perimeter. If you hear about anyone bragging about that kind of thing, tell me. Nobody else, you hear? Just me. We getcha. Hunter's gonna kill him, right? I faltered. The starkness of it stung. He might. We can be discreet. Don't you worry about us. I nodded. But despite their promises, worry started nagging at my gut. It wasn't so much them finding someone out, but rather someone knowing they were being hunted down. That kind of fear can drive you crazy, make you all twisted up. You might find you end up hurting someone, like a deer caught in a bear trap, just flinging its weight around to get free. The twins started walking off as I trailed behind them. They shuffled restlessly, nudging each other as we walked aimlessly around the plaza. Listen, Runt, we gotta ask you a bit of a favour, seeing as how you're a bit older and all. What's that? Surprisingly, Temple didn't say anything, but looked around like they were nervous, crossing their arms. You tell him, Church. Reading material? You know, some more adult stuff. Stuff we can't get at school. Oh, don't toy with him. He doesn't know what you mean. I tried to ignore the sting of those words. Temple came in close, lowering their voice. We want porn, okay? Old porn mags. We got naked ladies and fellas and all that. Sometimes doing stuff, you know? Together. The way Church said together made me more grateful for my mask than I'd ever been in my whole life. My face got red so fast, I felt like I was sticking my head into an oven. Porn, yeah, I'd heard of it, sure. But I didn't know, I mean, I'd always heard it was some kind of thing where you'd know when you saw it. But I'd been keeping my eye out. I don't think I had ever seen any before. You think you might, you know, see red in your future? Huh? Gosh, Runt, red. You got a whole stash of mags, but you won't give them out to any of us. We saw his stash when we went by on Saturday. Yeah, after we dropped off those cassette tapes from Mrs. Khan. We've been trying to get someone else to get them, but nobody will borrow some for us. Except maybe you? I'll see what I can do. Dude, no way. Thank you, man. Just get a handful of anything. We can pay you back. We can trade you some secrets, yeah? We know a thing or two. Really? Yup. Even about you strayers. Despite their bouncing, giggling, I felt suddenly cold. My neck hair stood up. Images of Hunter's fists coming at my head. Was he watching now? Mad that I was letting some scrap of news get away? I went to stop the twins, asked them what they meant, but they were gone. They sped off, bouncing like the dogs they were into the muddy streets of Skipclaw. I realized then I hadn't asked if they had done it. Didn't seem right to. I doubted they did. They were young and dumb kids, but not that dumb to mess with our church. I felt that chill return. If they had done it, Hunter, no matter what, would kill him. He would have no qualms about it. No reason would see him through the haze of anger he had. Nobody could stop him. As I watched them run off, the ache grew heavier and heavier in my heart. Please God, don't let it be them. When I came back from my rounds in town, I found a note on the kitchen table stabbed into the wood with a knife. The sight of the knife piercing the paper sent a wicked chill through me. Meet at the storehouse. Bring this knife, not your shitty one. Lol. Runt, bring this knife, not your shitty one. His handwriting was ugly, stupid looking, brutish and big, just like he was. He's worse than Dad ever was, I thought. I grabbed the handle. All metal of the tang through the handle was sharp against my palm. I thought back at breakfast, the way he'd gripped Tanner's neck, the way I could feel his eyes on me. I pulled the knife out of the table, tucked it into my belt, and inhaled hard, trying to calm the twist in my stomach with a rush of cold air. It didn't help. There was nothing for it. I had to go. The storehouse sat beneath a dark sky, settled low in long grasses with its door gaping open on crooked hinges. As I got closer, I could see his frame crowding the doorway. Bile rose in my throat. He had his butcher's knife in his hands. It only meant one thing, a fresh kill, and I was here to help him take care of it. I didn't understand who Hunter really was in the old days, back when Dad was still here. Hunter was the oldest, my strongest, biggest brother, proud to carry us strayers on through the wickedness of the world with Dad's blessing. Even before Dad got sick, he led us with an unwavering military precision, never dancing around what needed to be done, just putting his head down and getting to it, cold and steady, our rock. I think I used to admire him. Then Dad died, and the beatings started. It was like a summer storm. Some days you woke up, and you just knew one was coming. You could feel the static curling in the air all around you, that crackling closing in heat clamming up your skin before the torrent of rain. It's really well written, this novel, this visual novel. It's so good. Sometimes there was no such warning, and he hit fast and hard. Thunder and then lightning right above your head. One after the other. No crackling static. No uncomfortable heat. Just pain. I knew why he did it. I guess I couldn't really blame him, especially in those early days. Those were chaos, both with Dad dying and then the blackout fucking up the whole world. A firm hand, one that wasn't afraid to grab you by the hair or force you to calm down by making you bleed, was needed. But things were different after. Life was slower. And we were a well-oiled machine. Somebody was always getting beat for something. Thank you, Zira. You're a good girl. Wow. Running their mouth, acting up too much for his liking, disrespecting him, not following orders, or following them, but not good enough. Usually it was me getting the beating, and if we were unlucky enough to be around another brother, he'd join in too. Somebody had to be in charge, I guess. And he was to thank for the success of Skipclaw and the fact that nobody had died from a smoke or twister in a long, long time. So I guess it had to be him. But nobody made me miss Dad quite like Hunter. Dad used to be so busy with the farm he didn't have time to give us the same beating twice. After Dad, he at least said he loved me. I could see Hunter blocking the doorway with that bear trophy draped over his head and shoulders. He had well over a foot over me. What took you so long? There it was. The warm static of a storm in the air. I could taste it on my tongue. Came straight away, sir. Sir was what we had called Dad. Of course, Hunter had us calling him the same thing. Straight away. Saw you coming over the hill with some real heavy feet. Didn't look quick to me. He was in a mood. He had been watching, waiting. I remember frantically thinking of what to say. Didn't want to piss him off anymore. I'm thinking about yesterday. It was weird stuff. I have a bad feeling about it. He watched me, barely moving, as still as a damn stone. Get inside. One left in that 17 achievements today. Go to bed, fungi. It smelled like fresh blood. Heavy, disgusting animal blood. The static that close heat made it all smell wetter and closer than it really was. Like the black blood soaking the walls was fresh again. Like it was pressing on your skin. It made me sick to my stomach. Hunter yanked the knife from my belt and put it back on the knife rack behind him, hanging the deer's presents. Nothing more than a curtain to push aside while he did. I got a deer this morning. Nice, healthy buck. Just near the perimeter. Young, but enough. It hung on one of the meat hooks suspended from the rafters, its head cocked at a bad angle, blood seeping out its mouth to the floor. Something in Hunter settled at the sight of. Pride swelled. I looked at its empty black eyes, thankful that its death soothed his temper. We gotta cut it up quick. Meat'll go bad soon. Understood. Raised his jaw ever so slightly. Understood, sir. I'm gonna time you. You need to practice, and with spring coming, we need to get a head start on drying and cutting before the heat sets in. Can't store spoiled meat and bring in all those flies. Yes, sir. I slipped the knife I brought in my backpack and stepped forward. Hunter was going to stand right behind me the whole time, watching me. I swallowed. I ain't any good at this. I felt his hand on my arm and flinched. Grabbed the knife from my hand and flipped it round. Shoved it against my palm, wrapped my fingers around it. He could snap my wrist if he wanted. With one quick movement, he could shove the knife in my gut. Would he string me up here next to the deer after? Look at its face. I stared at the dead black eye in front of the deer. Soft smear of bright red blood over the white of its fur at the lip. That could be you on that table. You, if you don't learn to quit your constant bitching and do as you're told. Do you understand? I nodded. I know you didn't do that thing in the church. I felt my skin crawl. He pressed against my back, head taller than me, coarse fur, and the bare pelt pulling at my shirt. But did you help? No, sir. Are you sure you didn't help? Hand pressed like a vice around mine, twisting my wrist. I didn't fight it. Blade tip nestled against my stomach. How do I know you're not lying? I wouldn't do that to Dad, I swear. And I need you to figure out who did. Understand? If you don't, pull down my hand, pulling the knife in close until I could feel the tip bearing into my jacket. Yes, sir. Good. He let go of my hand. He backed away. I field dressed the organs. So it's just the meat and pelt now. Wash any blood you get on you off with that bucket. Remember, the right knife, be precise, don't fuck it up. Is it puzzle time? This feels so tense. Beginning. If you're fast enough, Hunter will reward you. Hover over the deer with your selected knife and cut along the line. If you make the spill blood, wash it away by clicking the water you've had. Hunter's watch starts once you click exit. Oh, fuck. Oh god. Ah. That skin. Are we scanning it? Oh god. I don't know how I feel about this. What do I do now? Breaking bones and hooves and antlers and skin. Common meat. Wasn't there a poster that should show me how to do this shit? Fuck. Fuck. What do I do? Oh, fuck. Well, that wasn't there before. Oh god. God, this is very, how do I describe this, chat? This is very, I don't know. Ah. Now, what the fuck was that? God damn it, Runt. Why can't you try? You've done this before. Fucking stand back, idiot. Received nothing. What did I do wrong? Oh god. The taste hung in the air still. Blood. Static pressing in. Something gonna happen. He said it so quiet, his voice rough. Crackling like fire, I froze up. 5 days, Runt. I swallowed hard in the silence. I think we should stay calm. I don't fucking care. Okay. Give a damn what you fucking think, boy. I don't think we need any of your damn thoughts or your shit-kicking brothers. Not Fisher with his fucking theories. Not Tanner backmouthing. Not even fucking Carver trying to lick my boots, doing any fucking thinking for me. Do you hear? Yes, sir. I need you. Boots on the ground. My eyes and ears. You get it? Ask questions, listen. Know your body with some of them, townies. I need you to squeeze them for info. Somebody has it out for us, but we're stronger than them. If they don't get it yet, we'll show them. Nobody fucks with the strayers. Yes, sir. Report back every day. Everything you see, everything you hear. If you figure out what's going on, I'll reward you. Let you have some days off. Maybe set you up with a girl. You're almost at that age. You gotta get on sometime. Thought made me feel strange. I just nodded. Leaned back against the table. Gloves brushing against the freshly cut hinds. His shoulders suddenly sagged. Head dropped towards his chest and he fell silent. He seemed older, tired. In the dimness of the room, he was just a big shadow. His furs swallowing all the light. Runt. Yes, sir? Things are gonna get worse. There was no anger in his voice. No fight, just a quiet, haggard resignation. You have to understand. You have to. Somebody wants to tear us apart. I have to be cruel, you understand? Fear is what keeps people together. Like a damn herd, too scared to lash out or break shit up when we gotta focus on staying alive. We are the leaders of our herd, our ungrateful little flock, but our flock nonetheless. We need to make them understand, not just the townies, but your brothers too. Something shifted in the room in that moment. I had the crystal clear realization that Hunter, he was confiding in me. I'd never felt so special, so chosen, oh god. All of them are becoming corrupted. Carvers all over town. Tanner shakes at the slightest responsibility. The Fisher, he's getting quieter, looser in the mind. He stopped and turned away, laughing to himself. I mean, they can't even keep their mouths shut with each other. Tanner was the last to know the church code. Guess he knew it not half an hour later. Fucking Carver. Those fucking idiots. But you've always been true, loyal to our family. Weak, but you're young. Even if you ain't our best and brightest, you would never stray. And I know I've been harsh to you, physical with you. But you got your licks 'cause you don't understand. We can't be divided. Sometimes examples need to be made. Even if you hate me, you know better now. It's the easiest way to make them all understand. Oh god. My guts rolled as he moved over towards me. By instinct, I braced for another punch to my jaw or stomach. But none came. Instead, I felt his hand on my shoulder. For a moment, I was stunned, catching myself suddenly, overwhelmingly missing Dad. You're a good kid, and I know you'll do the mission well. When all's put to bed, and we come out stronger than ever, you'll be rewarded. Things will change for the better. And you, I think you deserve more than you've been given. A better slice of the pie. Right now, we've got to show them all just how strong we are. No fear, Runt. No backing down. No remorse. It might just be you and me in the end. Do you understand? I understand. There is a part of me that wanted to bury my head into his chest, into his strength. Now I think about it sometimes. Hey, honey Ivan. What if I could pretend that all that hate and hurt he put on me, upon us, was truly for the greater good? Ah! Why? At that moment, I nodded, giving up to resisting his way of thinking. I trust you know what to do, and I'll help you out any way I can, sir. Clapped softly on my shoulder, nodded, letting some of that burden seep out of him and onto me. Good. Now, get. He handed me a hind quarter, still dripping with blood. Start dinner. I'll be there shortly. He said it like it was a comfort, but it was a warning. I wasn't allowed to go anywhere but home. Do my duty as the youngest and prepare the house. They headed home, cresting the hill down towards our home. My radio crackled to life. Hurry home now. I'm good. We did some very cool games today. Very, very cool games. I think this is probably the coolest. It's a very tense sort of thriller, post-apocalyptic visual novel, and the art is very unique. But it's kind of like game style. It's really good. It's a little bit edgy. You're playing an abuse victim, basically, and it's very tense. And they've done a really good job of creating the atmosphere and putting you in the position of this character. I really like it. I don't think it's a game for everyone. I genuinely think there are definitely some things in this game that are a lot. Yeah. There are definitely some games that are a lot. I can't say that I'm going to do a full stream of this, but I might record it off stream and put it on YouTube. Just because I genuinely think this is the kind of game that needs its praise and deserves some coverage. I don't know if it's a stream game, because, you know, we like to keep things cozy in the live stream if as much as we can. I'd done what I could for Hunter's mission that day, asking questions, interrogating. My feet were sore as fuck, stomping down back home and having to do my dinner and nightly chores. They all came home exhausted from the day, ate dinner wordlessly. Even Carver seemed too tired to start up any fights. It was an unspoken thing. What happened at the church was finally settling on our shoulders, and God, it was a heavy weight. As I ate, standing at the counter, I stared at each of my brothers and wondered what they were thinking, wondering what was going on behind those masks of theirs. At the same time, I didn't feel any closer to the answer. I suppose I still don't. My thoughts drifted to my shift. Hunter treated me mean and real close, forcing me to cut up that deer real quick. None of that was unusual, for him at least. But he softened, told me about the weight of looking after us, after the whole town. His anger, his brutality, have a purpose. I couldn't protect everyone on my own. I'm sure he felt that pressure too. Yet, I felt chilled. His words. No fear, Runt. No backing down. No remorse. It might just be you and me in the end. Those were dark words, cruel words. If he was that suspicious of his own kin, what would he do to me if I failed? The thought sat like a rock in my stomach. Everyone left their dishes without a word, and I collected them, washing them under a single flickering bulb above the sink. I was so tired, I swear I nearly dunked my head into the murky sink water. They rolled onto my bed, bones aching, stiff to the core. I thought about tomorrow. That message haunted me. 5 days. Until what? I didn't know what it would bring, if I would ever get closer to a real answer about the church. I saw the guts, the flies, the ribbons of red across that place that had once been not a home, but something special. Not like good special, like big special, or overwhelming special. If we were to ever move past this, we needed an answer. But I couldn't think of how to get any answers. I panicked, looking around the room as if anything could help me. Funnily enough, something did. I had this old spy book, you see, a thriller, real blood-pumping tale of international espionage, as the back cover claimed. I picked it up and flipped through the pages, reading the dog-eared pages I had read countless times before, and grinned. Fine, the book wasn't especially strong, or loud, or commanding, or nothing. It was just real smart, real clever with putting clues together and figuring out what needed to be figured out. I knew how they did all this shit. Putting together clues and shit. It wasn't all that hard. You didn't need to be strong, or powerful, or anything. Have a decent head on your shoulders. There was nothing stopping me from doing it myself. I rushed to scribble down everything I'd heard all day, marking out anything and everything that seemed suspicious or valuable. Soon I had a list of clues, and with them, the questions I needed to answer to pin the right person. Who could have done it? Where were they on the day that it happened? How did they do it? Why did they do it? What would happen on the 5th day? If I could answer all these questions, I could show Hunter at the end of the week, this whole damn thing would clear up. I sighed, laying back on my bed with a smile on my face. The smile didn't last for long. I saw that blood, all those guts in my mind. Might be able to figure it out, but somebody was going to get hurt for it. No matter how good I figured it out, and what I did, somebody was going to get hurt. Would it be my fault? I brought my journal up to my face and looked at what I'd written again. Great conclusions. First objective, need to find out who I should ask. Everyone is deaf acting weird. Waiting. You got feelings for him? Said Willie's been bothering her for bottles. Said he's also been hanging around Doc's office. Okay. There's possibly a bunch more creatures, which I think is interesting. The words began to bleed together. Salt and oil seeped into my eyes, blurring it all to black smudges. I saved my detecting for tomorrow. I put away my journal and curled up in bed, my mask tight on my face. I shut my eyes. My mind swelled into bitter images of guts, of blood and blackness. Oh God, what's this? My eyes adjusted to the dark. I knew I was asleep at the time, but it was a distant knowing. A speck on the horizon in the back of my brain. Before me, shimmering and distorted, was a face. Haggard, sunken, buzz-cut, short as anything. It was my face. I was staring at my own face. I tried to focus on it. I tried to smooth it out. Heat built up in my head. Pressure crawling along the inside of my skull. The more I tried to focus to make that face look more like me, the more the pressure built and built and built, and then I exploded. Light burns across my face. Flames swept up and over me, into a black sky, their reflection rippling over the surface of dark water. It was so bright, it hurt. Strange to feel pain in a dream. Something was watching me. Something just over my shoulder. But I couldn't turn. I couldn't move my head. The heat was too much. It was too hot. It was too fucking hot. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe. I wanted to wake up. I wanted to breathe. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. I can't seem to interact with anything anymore. Legas. I shot awake. My heart pounded. My muscles sluggish. Something was wrong. My eyes were bleary. Cool air washed over my face, catching the sweat trickling over my brow. It wasn't a good cold. Not even after that heat in the dream. It was too cold. I was too bare. My mask was off. Had I taken it off? Had I clawed it off in the heat of the nightmare? I didn't have time to answer that question. The light bulb above my head had gone out. The candle had burned down. I was exposed, vulnerable in the dark. And I wasn't alone. Oh, fuck. Well, rip us, I guess. Thank you for playing Runt. Who left the message? Who can you trust? And who will you be when everyone is done with you? In 2026, love Grim Taste. That is a great little demo. I really want to see where this story goes. I am intrigued, chat. You know me. I don't really like horror games, but I do like a good story. And this is most certainly a very well-told story. Most certainly a very well-told story.